Welcome back to GBGuns Armory, the series in which we're going over stuff already reviewed in full over at the main channel and or on gbgunsdepot.com, and I'm giving you a little more of the thoughts and feels since those main reviews already hit up the facts and performance. Today is this handsome little guy. This is from EAA. It's the Girsan MC14 G84, and as you can tell, it's obviously a redo of a classic Beretta design. Except the sights are a bit bigger and more functional, which I don't mind at all. It's got a slide mounted safety, but not decocker, but it is a DASA with a decent enough trigger. And because it's an all metal gun and they put these nice grips on here, it's actually not too bad to hold on to. 13 rounds, uses the same pattern mags as the Beretta, so mags are easy to get, which is a good thing because it only came with one. I think it's a really handsome gun. I love it. It's direct blowback, which tends to hurt and be uncomfortable, but the heft of the gun I think took a lot of the oomph out of that, and then having this pinky rest on the magazine meant that my whole hand fits on there and tucks a little cramped, but cramped enough that when the gun tries to flip, there's plenty of pressure from the bottom of my hand preventing it from wanting to do that. And it's just enjoyable in that it's a modern classic, or a classic rebuilt, or a classic modernly produced, I guess is the way to say it. Not red dot ready, no rail space, it's 380, it's blowback. All of that stuff really speaks to the time when the design was originally made. However, there's just something that's kind of fun about it, and I enjoyed shooting it. Did get a little bit of pain in the back of the hand from that shock from the blowback snappiness, which tends to happen on these, but not as bad as I have on other guns of similar size. Plus, it's a 380 that actually has a decent barrel length, so you can get some real performance out of 380. Now, I'm not saying 380 is the best choice out there, but it is definitely capable of stopping a bad guy, and it is certainly plinkable. The unfortunate reality is, for us Americans, is that 380 was Browning's creation, and it lost the world market argument to Luger's 9mm. It's not as powerful, and because it lost that competition, more 9mm is produced, even though a lot more of it's consumed worldwide, a lot more of it's produced, and that means that 380 ammunition prices are oddly, I mean, it's how economics works, but 380 ammunition costs you more than 9mm. So what you're getting with this thing is something that is less powerful, less modern, a little more awkward, and costs more to shoot. But look at it. I mean, it's just handsome. It's a nice little gun. Girsan did a great job with this. The Cerakote and grip combos, I think, add a lot to it and make for a pleasant gun. And unless, let me back this up, if you're one of those people that doesn't shoot all the time, that doesn't need to go to the range at least once a month, then that ammo price difference probably doesn't much matter. Even more so if you're like me and you have an Ammo Squared subscription. I have a chunk of the allotment going to 380 every month, even though I don't shoot it that often, because that way it just stockpiles, and when I know that 380 time is coming, I ask Ammo Squared to ship it, and then boom, I've got myself a half case of 380 or a case of 380, which is more than enough for a range day or two with something like this, because as I said, it's not the most pleasant thing to shoot out there, especially compared to all the other options that are out there, but it doesn't make it a bad gun. And I find it something that I'm glad to have in my collection, just like the other MC14 that I have from 8 years ago, of a completely different design, but the same designation, and also a Girsan product. And other 380s of its class, they're just kind of, I don't know, nice to have. I don't think I can really justify it. But my question for you today is, do we really have to justify it? I'm sure at least one of you out there has at least one firearm that you don't really use, you don't really love per se, but at the same time you won't get rid of it. It's something that is there, that's nice, that's part of your numbers and part of your collection. I'm curious to hear what first came to mind when I posed that of a firearm, especially a handgun that you own that isn't really your thing, but at the same time you can't get rid of it. Because that for me is this little guy. I'm not gonna get rid of it. It's handsome, it's nice, it's heavy for its size. That kind of makes it, you know, weight wise you think, well, there's more comfortable 9mm to carry. True. There's more comfortable 9mm to shoot. True. But somehow I still love this thing. That's the Girsan MC14 G84 for GBGuns Armory today. Check the pinned comment. I'll link to the full review down there, as I do on all of these if it's something I've got an article on. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this gun, and really curious to hear what it is that you guys keep in the safe that you just can't get rid of, even though you don't really use it. I know it's a first world problem, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.